Went to the World Cup as a player with Argentina. And talked about how much this will mean to do it as a coach as well with the United States. First opportunity here for Germany then. And the right foot outswinging delivery, cleared away at the front post, but it'll fall. And over the bar. Leroy Sané coming to get there as the US get things going quickly. Luke Wellman and Kyle Martino in the booth, and Melissa Ortiz pitched up.
Really excited to have spoken to Mauricio. He was happy with his players, as he said in that interview. Now, what I want to see out of this team right now, and it's something that Tyler Adams had touched upon, was managing the transition moments, but also moving the defensive lineup so there's not so much space in between the lines. And that's something that is hard to sustain against a team like Germany. But it was really awesome to see in the first half how many dangerous chances the U.S. created on Germany, how many corner kicks they also created. Now it's about capitalizing on those set pieces.
Tillman turning down the right side. And Mauricio Pochettino asking the referee why a free kick wasn't given there for his side, but this is Havertz on the left touchline for Germany. Inside it goes towards Pavlovic. And now picked up by Balogun for the US. Balogun running towards the edge of the box. This is Tillman. Tillman rolls it through. Pulisic denied. Pulisic again. And then it's knocked over the bar by Tillman. A great double stop from Baumann, but the flag had gone up anyway. It wouldn't have counted. Baumann didn't know that.
Yeah, right there. And I love what Balogun's trying to do. Yeah, timing's a little off. I want to see Balogun hit that, though. And I think Christian's a little lucky that the flag goes up, because West McKinney, look at him right there. But U.S. start in the second half like they ended the first.
A game of extra significance, of course, for Malik Tillman, being born in Germany. Said he's been waiting a long time for this game, very special for him and his family. Born in Nuremberg, he said, when he sat down with Greg Berhalter at the time and talked to him about his plan for the team and what he wanted out of Malik Tillman. It's a pretty obvious decision for him to be able to commit to the United States. He gets the chance to face the country of his birth today. Sané down the right side with the ball in towards Havertz, bit of space here as it's driven in from distance. It's a very good save from Freeze, who got down low to deny Felix Metscher.
It's a good layup, but the ball comes a little bit awkward. It's in the middle of his steps. Metscher hits that one well, and not only a good save from Freeze, but making sure the rebound doesn't come off and smothers it.
Tarr under pressure here from Weston McKennie. And Tarr defends it well. Dest was the furthest forward there, putting pressure on the Germany goalkeeper. And it worked, because that one has gone into touch on the far side. Just the one shot on target in the first half, but what a shot on target it was. It's Christian Pulisic. Pulisic still going, he's chopped down. The referee waves it away.
Wow.
Looked a certain free kick right outside the area there as Schlotterbeck came in, I think it was, with a challenge. Christian Pulisic can't quite believe it. Referee Piero Masso of Chile.
One subtle thing I love from Christian today is there's a few times he's been hit, might be a foul, and he just gets right back up, and he's just switched on. On this near side, the first half, he took a flattering challenge and got back up, and we've seen him sometimes. Obviously, these players are going to come after him, and yeah, even though he's trying to get out of the way, and Christian's in control, he's moving in that path. Yep. That's a foul, but I just love that Christian's not showing the tackles and the tugs, and the bad calls are throwing him off his game.
Freeman down the right side, a player who over the course of the last year has cemented himself in Mauricio Pochettino's thinking, having just made his debut a year ago. And the same for Matt Freese in goal. It was just a year ago tomorrow he made his debut against Turkey. Here's Havertz towards the corner flag. Musiala rolls it inside for Wirtz. Havertz back for Wirtz. Turkey, of course, the third game of the group stage at the World Cup. The US having played all three teams in the last year that they will meet in the tournament. Brown's ball forward. Havertz plays it back. And driven in from distance by Zane, I think it was. It goes off Robinson. Schlotterbeck under pressure there from Serginho Dest. The US have been up for the battle today, haven't they, against a real heavyweight. Musiala turning against McKennie. Mecha driving forward, the challenge coming in from McKennie. The referee allowing a lot to go here as Pulisic steps inside. Lovely skill from Christian Pulisic, and out of play it goes for a throw. Mecha is still down.
Watch this skill. Little bouncing step over. Lovely.
Last week was his 8th game with a goal and an assist for the US. Christian Pulisic. Mecha here along the edge of the box with Sané, but the US trying to get it clear here. It's McKennie, that is a free kick. Kimmich was fouled. But Christian Pulisic not happy. Mecha's taking it quickly. The referee is pulling this one back.
Looked like it was just a little kick out here from Pulisic. I mean, barely any contact, but just gets him enough that the veteran knows he's just gonna hit the ground.
Well, it's almost the same spot at the other end that they scored from with the free kick 2 minutes in.
Yeah, and one thing that Brad pointed out to me I didn't notice is the amount of players in the wall tells you a lot about what a goalkeeper is thinking. And in that first chance, that's a difficult angle because it's not a great shooting angle, but 4 players in the wall, just maybe that was one thing is Freese just had in his mind shot so much. So at the same sort of setup here. Yeah, because if Freese cheats out and then it curls over the wall and goes near post, then he's in, then he's at fault for that. So just a really difficult thing for Freese to get this right. And obviously, can hardly see the ball. This new thing in the modern era of players standing and blocking the view, players lying behind. I mean, goalkeepers see the ball very late.
Sané and Kimmich standing over it. Well, no danger this time. Crowd playing their part today with their reaction here, letting the Germany side know what they thought of that effort.
Well, another thing that proves how far the game has come over the years is in the first half, a lovely little sequence where the U.S. plays out of pressure and gets the clap from the crowd. Right there, terrible free kick. It gets the, the jeers from the crowd. This is a country that loves football and watches it all the time and definitely has grown into being students of the game.
Balogun was fouled. Tar with a tug on the arm of Balogun as the US look to break there. A little scrappy right now, but this one's played forward towards Pulisic, and the first touch just a little too heavy. Wide open, isn't it, here? 10 minutes after half-time.
Just hits up right his knee. If that goes off that part of the thigh where he wants it, it goes right into his path to hit it with his left foot, but just misjudges it. Gets the thumbs up for the ball in from Adams. And he's having a game though. He's irresistible right now. A complete handful.
Well, pressure coming there. It's turned over, but the referee gives the free kick. Germany playing a dangerous game there because the US are pressing well.
It's hard to tell from that replay.
To be fair, the referee had a very good view of it as Tillman came in. Freeman climbs highest to head away. Dest with a little flick. And now the question for Mauricio Pochettino is, how much do you want to see out of this 11, and when do you take them off and wrap them up and make sure that they're safe and sound?
The hour mark is probably when we see some changes.
You talked earlier about Chris Richards. He hasn't played since his injury. Having not played in either of these warm-up games, can he go and start the first World Cup game?
I mean, if he's fit enough, absolutely. Yep. He is one of the first players penciled into a starting 11. Incredible leader, and That makes a big difference when he's out there. So if the coaching staff and the medical staff deem him fit, he's starting that first game.
Seems very optimistic, Chris Richards. And Mauricio Pochettino yesterday in the presser showed his frustration in terms of the communication. He didn't think that it would take this long in terms of recovery. But he's on the road to recovery, and hopefully he does make it at some point in the World Cup.
Nacho with the ball across goal. Tim Ream clears it away. The Charlotte man out into touch on the far side. Always a smile on the face of Chris Richards. Along the edge of the box of Musiala. And then drawn in by Sané. Germany back in front.
What an incredible first touch. Watch how hard this ball gets rifled in. And very compact and just cleans it up. Kai Havertz. And it's the shot that comes through the legs. It's like it's Robinson. And takes a deflection as well. That makes it so hard for Freeze. You know, maybe if it doesn't take that deflection, he's right there. He's got to reset his feet. Even with the deflection taking some pace off of it, it still has enough pace to go in that far corner.
And now the US must find a way to come from behind once again.
Scoring for Germany in the 57th minute. Number 19.
They'd had their chances to take a lead for themselves and couldn't find the back of the net. Punished now by that effort from Leroy Sané. His 17th international goal on cap number 76 as he heads into a second World Cup. 2 appearances in Qatar for Sané. Substitute appearance in the second group game, a draw with Spain, an assist and a start against Costa Rica in the final group game, a 4-2 win. Germany getting set to make a triple change. And Havertz has it here in towards Musiala. Musiala still battling there as Robinson clears away.
USA as well looking to make a change. You see players taking off their pennies. Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, Giovanni Reina, and Sebastian Berhalter.
Freeze comes to claim. Adams forward towards Balogun. McKennie. So approaching the hour mark and changes coming on both sides. Anton Waldemar will be coming in for Germany. Also David Raum. His Wirtz down the left, he's up against Miles Robinson. Ball into the middle, finds Havertz, who has some space. Sané cutting in. Kimmich sent down the right touchline, but Anthony Robinson able to get there first. Cleared only as far as Sané once again. Right now he's the match winner with 30 minutes left to play in the final game before the World Cup. 4 US changes coming. To the right it goes. Sané just keeping it in play at the byline. Kimmich, like Sané was offside. Austin Trusty and Gio Reyna coming in, Sebastian Berhalter as well. And it looks like Mark McKenzie will be in also. So Germany with the changes first. And Waldemar will replace Kimmich. Kai Havertz's day is over. Nathaniel Brown leading the game as well. Anthony Robinson just receiving some treatment, or is down on the pitch at the moment, might need to receive some treatment.
Number 3, Aldemar Inton. And number 26, Dennis Una.
You can see him reaching behind that left leg. And this heat, with how much he's been up and down the flank, the hope would be just cramping up a little bit.
And substitutions.
Max Arston from down here is looking like he's potentially getting ready in case he needs to come in.
So both central defenders being changed by Mauricio Pochettino here as Ream and Miles Robinson make way.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't see it. Looks like Robinson stood up and immediately hit the ground again.
Number 22, Mark McKenzie.
Well, Dr. B's right here says it's cramp.
Well, we got Dr. B's.
So that's good news. Nothing more serious.
B's walks like that right now.
Well, Anthony Robinson is coming up. It seems as if Tim Ream might stay on now as they change things around. So Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, McKennie and Pulisic, the players leaving the game.
Every U.S. fan turning up field mics right now, turning their TV as loud as it could possibly go. Where are the lip readers?
Bit of concern with Anthony Robinson forced off just after the hour mark here. Undar coming on up top to replace Kai Havertz. Havertz had come into the starting lineup today to replace Undav, who turns 30 on the day of the World Cup final, the Stuttgart man. This second international brace a week ago against Finland, quite a scoring rate at international level. 6 goals in 8 games for Dennis Undav.
Talked about that game against Finland with a clean sheet. I mean, he was all over. Really good goal scorer, wonderful running off the ball.
Pavlovic. Adams.
Long sleeve was a choice.
You always a short sleeve guy? Did you ever get the choice?
Yeah, I think I was more the long sleeve dude.
Played forward here towards halfway. Now Tillman. I love the story when we were in Atlanta. Didn't someone find a Kyle Martino jersey that they gave to you in Atlanta that you'd never seen before with a number that you didn't have?
It was obviously a camp that maybe I left early or didn't play in that jersey, didn't play in that number. So it's a collector's item.
It really is. So McKenzie at the back alongside Tim Ream, and off to the left it's Trusty at the moment. And Desta's gone across to the far side, it seems. Ream. So very much those 3 central defenders right now, with Freeman on the right side, Dest on the left, pushing forward, Balogun on halfway there, as they'll go all the way back towards Baumann. Here's Rahm, who took the place of Brown at left back. Wirtz. Pavlovic on the edge of the box, comes back here, Pavlovic once again, looking for the top corner. Anthony Robinson getting a little bit of treatment. And we're told from down there, people who have been watching, that they're stretching out his leg.
See what Bees has to say about that. No, nothing, Bees?
Bees needs his leg stretched. Bees yesterday got in for 2 minutes at Kyle's Street FC event here in Chicago.
Was he good?
I cannot deny nor confirm, but he said he was like wiped after just 2 minutes.
Halligan unable to get there as Tar plays it up towards halfway. He's got the captain's armband on now. Jonathan Tar at the back after the departure of Kimmich. Sané across halfway. Pavlovic goes backwards.
We have a few U.S. changes going to happen quite soon. We have Brendan Aronson, Max Arfson, Joe Scally, Christian Roldan, and Pepe putting on their jerseys. And you're right, you know, Anthony, the medical staff is massaging his leg right now and stretching out his leg. Hopefully it's nothing obviously serious. You know, we've been in those similar situations. This is just by assumption, but when you have a cramp as an athlete, you know, that's the way to really relax the muscle, but I will confirm.
Mauricio Pochettino pretty much emptying his bench here. Weah also getting set to come in down there as Adams plays it across to Dest on the far side. Dest back for Tyler Adams. Trusting the Celtic man who won the league in dramatic fashion in Scotland on the final day. Ream across for McKenzie.
That's where you want to see Gio Reyna come and get on the ball and create the game. He's so good in tight spaces. Terrific composure, good with both feet, creativity. Need him to get on the ball and try to break down this low block.
Back it comes to McKenzie, who talked to us about how much it means to him to be in this World Cup squad, having just missed out. Played the final couple of friendlies in the September before the World Cup in Qatar. Jamie Leveling, the Stuttgart winger, getting set to come in for Sané. Here's Freeman. A little over 20 minutes remaining here as Tillman goes back towards McKenzie. Ram just catching Tillman, and the referee, I think, is going to his pocket with a yellow card coming for the substitute. Ram, the Leipzig fullback, started all 3 games in Qatar, and will be heading to his second World Cup.
Just really late. That one hurts too, and you can see he plants the foot, drives the knee into the back of Tillman. Tillman's still limping right now.
So here comes the hydration break with a little over 20 minutes remaining here. Germany leading it by 2-1. It was Kai Havertz who scored inside the opening 2 minutes. Only for Anthony Robinson with a stunning unassisted strike from outside the box to tie things up in the 37th minute. But Leroy Sané with the goal makes it 2-1. And if you missed it, stand by. Here is the goal scored by Anthony Robinson today.
And this is such a difficult skill to pull off. As this ball comes out, it's coming from well up there. It's got a lot of top spin on it and just waits for it to drop. You've got to start your kick in motion so early and just smokes it. Catches it absolutely perfectly. There's going to be a lot of players around the country going to the backyard or going out to the field right now trying to do that with their buddy. Don't try the backflip. They're going to try that volley for sure.
Okay, in this water break, swap out the technology, swap out the laptop. Mauricio is giving instructions on the good old whiteboard.
Well, it seems as if everybody will get a chance to play apart from Alex Sendejas today. I'm not sure Haji Wright is coming on either. Difficult really to assess at this point the game in terms of who wins it. Mauricio Pochettino will probably be looking at that first hour of the way that his team played for a starting point of what he's looking for when the real thing kicks off next Friday. Now it's just about managing minutes and getting through to the end of the game safely, isn't it?
I mean, last game, obviously, the intensity didn't drop and the performance didn't drop when they made wholesale changes. He'll expect similar. He wants the team to go perform. He wants to be counting on a lot of these guys, but make no mistake, that was the starting 11 or 1 or 2 players that you just saw. And I think for Pochettino, he's got to feel good that his team's ready for Paraguay on Friday.
Luke, and you mentioned safely and that return safe to home or before they travel. And I just got confirmed that Anthony Robinson's injury is cramps, so nothing too alarming to be worried about.
Melissa, you should see Bees up here celebrating. Dr. Bees.
Out it goes for a throw by the corner flag. A few people celebrating, not just Bees, that is good news for Anthony Robinson. Berhalter's ball inside towards roll down. Sebastian Berhalter linked with a move to the English Championship over the course of the last 24 hours. Derby County, one of the destinations that has been mentioned for Berhalter, who of course has been so good for Vancouver Whitecaps. He was named to his second MLS All-Star team in the last couple of days as well. Challengers still flying in here from both sides. Pavlovic in the midfield, out towards Rahm, the left back.
Stop the game! Stop the game!
Musiala sliding it through, back across goal, and Freese has to get there as Fritz gets in. Freese did his job.
Well, this is rolled on. I just got clobbered right off of his feet. That was a nasty collision, and here's Freese. Trusty does a really good job in centering the first one. Fritz has a right to go for that. Very brave from Freese.
Headed forward by Gio Reyna, back towards halfway. Raum gets that one and then out of play off the head of Joe Scally. We talked ahead of this game about the fact that he knows most of the players on the opposition team very well, of course, from club level, sees them all the time, played against most of them, so said it was going to be a special moment for him, Borussia Mönchengladbach man, to get in and get some action here against Germany. Valdemar's ball backwards, finds Tar.
Matt Freese also spoke ahead of this game and talked about his grandfather, who was a fighter pilot in World War II. He said every time he hears the national anthem, he faces the flag in honoring him and the military. He also shared about the obstacles in his career, and he said, quote, biggest obstacle was before joining the national team was finding a platform to show what I can do. He's found that at NYCFC, and hopefully he'll find that platform at the World Cup. And he said, I don't want to be good. I want to be one of the greats.
So many great stories throughout this squad. Reyna, down the line it goes for Pepe. Pepe with the cross in towards the back post. It was a great ball wide for Ofsted on the far side. Now it's Gio Reyna. Reyna just couldn't quite get the power behind that one. Another player, of course, with connections to Germany. Passed it his dad. Baumann with the high ball downfield. And Trusty's header back towards Matt Freese. 15th cap today for Freese, who has now started 15 of the last 18 since his debut against Turkey. 3 penalty saves in the Gold Cup quarter-final last year, the shootout against Costa Rica. Played every minute of all 15 games in MLS for New York City FC this year. First World Cup squad for the US since 1990 with no goalkeeper for the United States playing for a club in Europe. Freese, Turner and Brady, the three goalkeepers in this squad, all